Hi guys and welcome back to Game & Muscle videos. Now we've recently been streaming F1 2016 on our Twitch channel. We've got a link to that in the video description. But whilst we were streaming, we had a lot of people asking us what are the good settings for the Thrustmaster T300 with Codemasters F1 2016. So in this video we're going to quickly go over the wheel settings in the game and in the Thrustmaster profiler so you can set your wheel up in a way that works well. First of all, you're going to want to make sure that your wheel rotation angle is set to 360 degrees. This will make sure that your wheel is one-to-one with the rotation of the wheel in the game. Or at least this is the closest we managed to get it with the default settings. So you don't have to fill about in the game. You can just do this in your profiler and it should line up. When it comes to the force feedback settings, what you need to do is set the gain to 80%. This is to reduce clipping. The game will set the force feedback too strong by default and you'll feel it's a bit like an electric toothbrush. That's the force feedback clipping and you don't want that because you're losing detail, and also your T300 will start baking like an oven, cooking some nice fresh cookies, which you again don't want because you can smell your T300 cooking. Not good. Now in terms of the detailed gain settings and the other settings in the gain settings, you want to put the constant on 100%, periodic on 100%, spring on 100%, dampener you want on 0. Pretty much every single game you ever play, driving game, you don't want any dampener on because dampener will just get in the way of the force feedback effects and force feedback conveyance of what the car's doing. So pretty much all the time you always want dampener on 0, and in this case it's no exception. And then for the auto center settings, you want to make sure that is 0, but basically decided by the game. So it doesn't matter what you've got there, you just need the button clicked where it says by the game recommended, and that will let the game do that. Now inside of the game you can have everything set to 100%, pretty much the game defaults, and that will all operate fine, and you should from that get good responsive force feedback, or as good as we managed to get it in the game. You shouldn't get any force feedback clipping. You should be able to get the car will self-align and tell you what's going on with nice firm force feedback. The car will load up at high speed. You'll get nice bumps and texture if you go off-road. And in general, I think that's pretty much the best that you're going to get out of the T300 with F1 2016. Now, when it comes to the pedals, if you're using the default pedals that come with the Thrustmaster T300, these pedals are potentiometer based, which means that they measure the distance that the pedals pushed and not the pressure. Because these pedals are potentiometer based, what you might want to do, now you don't have to do this, but you might want to do this because it might make it easier for you, allowing you to be a bit more aggressive on the brake without the brake locking up, is you can go to customize controls, then go to advanced wheel settings, and then go to the brake linearity setting, and then add a bit of percentage to that. Now we added 30% and tried that out, but it's going to be down to you as to what you like. Now the point of doing this is that if you've got a potentiometer based brake, you might find it easier having it be less sensitive at first and then it getting exponentially more sensitive, i.e. being non-linear. This means you can stamp on the brake kind of as you would with a load cell, and you're far less likely to accidentally lock the wheels up, which is something you want to avoid in a Formula 1 car. Now as I say, this is totally down to your preference, and what you really need to do is just do a couple of laps, see what you enjoy, if you like it linear, if you like it with a bit of non-linearity, whatever you like. Because personally, even when I had potentiometer based brakes with my G25s originally, I just got used to it being linear. But I know a lot of people certainly find it easier having it non-linear. Of course, if you do have load cell brakes, then you'll want it linear like it is by default. And so, because I'm using Club Sport V2 pedals separate to the wheel, I've just left it linear. But it's up to you what you want to set ultimately. And as a reminder, that's just for the brake. Leave the throttle as linear regardless of the pedal type that you've got. Of course, throttles are potentiometer based on pretty much all pedals, unless you start getting crazy fancy with fluid pedals and what have you, but you have to be mental to get those kind of pedals. So I hope that has helped you guys get a foundation of how to set up your Thrustmaster T300 with F1 2016. Please leave a comment if you've set yours up different and it's worked really well for you, because that will just help other people. Also, if you enjoyed this and found it useful, please click the subscribe button, like the video. If you thought it was a load of tosh, click the dislike button. Our Twitch channel's in the video description. But thanks for watching this. I'll see you in the next video we do. Until then, goodbye. With its trademark alien grip strips, 30 years later in 1999, the Paul Ricard track has become one of the most popular test venues, host to multiple Formula 1 Grand Prix, and more recently the European Le Mans Series.